Alright. Fine. Alright, so the Pasuk goes on, you say it's on B'chaman Vecha. Hashem Elkecha biyadecha v'shavisa shivya. So already some Farshim asked the Kasha, it should say v'shavita shevi. Right, you take captives. You know, as a v'shavisa shivya, you take their captivity. Huh? It's obvious you take captives from whoever you're at war with. Okay. So then, the next pasuk opens up with the sugya of Yifasar. Risa bashivia eshes Yifasar in the captivity. See Yifasar chashakta ba katachal isha. Right. So Rashi brings the Chazal lo divrei Torah k'neged Yetzirah. Right, that if the Torah wouldn't be matirit, then it would take her beisur. And even though the Torah was matirit, still, avera gorer savera, in the sense that he's going to end up hating her, and he's going to have a ben sarah murah from her. So this is one of the most difficult concepts to understand. Right, that this Chazal that Rashi brings. Right. Yeah, if the Torah wouldn't matir it, then they take her be'isur. No. Right? Since when is is not Reform Judaism that we have to make Judaism to reform Judaism to the extent that people are willing to keep. Right? If he could control himself, be'etzem, right? And he's not interested in controlling himself. Right, so he's chayev. And if he mamish can't control himself, so he's an onus. Right? We have this yisoid of yitzra al b'sha, it's halacha l'maaseh. It's a gemara meforeshes. The Ram brings it la'halacha. It's actually also a hemshech in this week's parsha. And one of the topics later in this week's parsha, that if a woman is being raped, v'ei moshiela, right? Mashva that a guy could be Moshe even benafsha. He could allowed to kill him. So let's say a man is raping a woman, and then there come the Moshim, and she screams, "Leave him alone! I would even pay him for this." Right? So the halacha is we say Yitzra al Bashar said, their Yetzirah took over, but she doesn't really mean it, and we kill him anyway, and then she's potter, right? Yitzra al Bashar. All right, so we have a yisod like that of Yitzra al Bashar. So say over here, why does it start to be matur the Yisr? Manavshach. If he could betzim control himself, right? So he's amazing, and v'yiten es adin. And if he can't control himself, he's a begetter onus. There's a sug of onus like that we do find of yitzra al b'sha. So why does it have to go now and reform itself because this guy is not going to keep it? Mapitom.
How does that idea of yitzra al b'sha fit with what we learned in Warren Brachas about the person who said he was sick without if he can't have this woman,
right?
And the Gemara says over there, it doesn't matter even if he wants to just even look at her. We don't. No,
so that's a pegam in her. Shaloyu benos Yisrael hefker. She doesn't have to.
Without that problem, you're saying look mitzido.
Mitzido, he's an onus. But we don't want to defile. What? That's right. But the reason is, so look, monavshach, right? Onus is Yark Val Yavor. If it's the Gemara says over there, like the Mandom Shil's an Eshes Ish, so of course it's Yark Val Yavor, right? Like the Mandom, or even if she was a Pnuya, right, which is not Yark Val Yavor but Pashtus, right? L'chara, right? But still, Shaloyu Benos Yisrael Hefker. A woman doesn't have to lose her dignity because to save this guy's life, right? Because of her, not because of him. Let's say he's an onus, but she doesn't have to be dishonored because of his onus. Right? Alright. Fine. So now the background for this this whole din of Yefas Tayar is Milchemes Rishus. And that's already Rashi, the very first Rashi in the parasha. He says, Milchemes Rishus HaKosav Medaber. right? Because the Shavisa Shivya, right? They're captives. In a Mechemes Mitzvah, it's Lo Sachaya Kol Neshama, we don't take captives, right? Okay. Right? Everyone dies. So that's the background of this whole din. Yifastar is Dafka din by arises, in Mechemes Rishus, and that's exactly the circumstance. Barisa Bashivya, in the captivity, you see, Eshes Yifastar. Oh. So let's talk about this Mechemes Rishus for a second. The concept of Mechemes Rishus, right? So already, all Klai, so it's probably learned this going, because everyone starts Daf Yomi, right? And Mistama, it's already in Daf Dalet or something like that. So Mistama, all Gans Klai, so reach this one before they quit, right? The famous, the Gemara talks about David, that he wakes up and at Chatzais and different Madamrim, how his busy schedule of learning and Shirs and Tishbachos, but actually at daybreak, the Ziknei Yisrael come in, and they say, Amcha Yisrael need Parnasa, right? So Donach answers, L'chuis Parnasu Zem Mizeh. But what can you do? Jews can't do business amongst themselves, right? So they say, they answer him in two Misham, why L'chuis Parnasu Zem Mizeh is not going to work, right? So first they say, Eina Koimitz Mazbia Sari, right? Klai Zachariah has a big appetite. The little is, it's not going to satisfy. Right? Ve'ena bor mismalim mechul yosei. Right? You can't fill up. We'll go with Rashi's pshat. Tosa says a little bit different, but going with Rashi, so you can't dig up from a pit the dirt to fill up the pit. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. Okay. So there's two questions here. First and foremost, you give a mashal for you make use of mishalim when there's like a tifer or edel musug that only through the mashal you can chop it. There's nothing more pashut in the world than I got no money, right? It's like they have to they give him two mishalim for the simplest idea in the world that it's king. It's not enough. Now, what I answer him mishalim? It's a pashut. Right?
What's the second mushal?
Oh, we'll talk about that. Oh,
what's the bor is already dug already? Kilo?
Yeah, there's a deficit. There's a deficit. We can't fill the deficit.
Why can't you fill it from whatever you dug it from?
No, the hole will still be there. You have to bring it from somewhere else, like raise the mom, like they're doing tonight. Right? Whatever. Tonight it goes up to 17%. It went up from 16 to 17.
That was the only thing.
No, everything's going up. Shem Yirachim. Anyway.
But they raised
the VAT, the VAT, the mom. 17%. There's reason why everything's very expensive in this country is 17. It used to be 60% tax, now it's 17. Then, Shem Yirachim.
You don't pay that in America. Anywhere.
Oh man. But anyway, getting back to the. So first and foremost, what do you need a mashal for such a simple concept as it's not enough money, and why you need two mashalim? What's the difference between the two mashalim? Darmach's a bright guy, so if you have to give him a mashal for reasons that we have yet to explain, he'll hop after the first one. You have to give him a second mashal also. So now, alright, so what happens afterwards? So Darmach gives the command to go to Mechemes Rishus. The Gemara goes on, the whole, who you have to speak to, you have to consult with, all different, powers that be. Right, but it's the whole, for lack of a better word, bureaucracy that you have to go through to go out to Mechemes Rishus. Right? So like the need for parnasa is a primary drive for Mechemes Rishus. And we'll get back to that as a point to hold in mind. All right, territorial expansion. You need this for parnasa. Parnasa is like, as it were, the necessity that forces us towards this. But let's talk about the musag of reshus. Right? The word reshus in Lashon HaKodesh has three meanings. Right? So first of all, as in Mochemes reshus, reshus as opposed to mitzvah. And we find this in halacha in many sugis of it's reshus. Like, for instance, Lo'olam ba'em ta'avodu. Rabbi Shmuel omer reshus, Rabbi Kiva omer chayva. Right? Reshus as opposed to chayva. Right? Like working with you Avakani forever and ever and ever. Right? Rabbi Shmuel says, meaning we are licensed to enslave them forever. Rabbi Kiva, it's chayva. No, you do an aveira if you set your Avakani free. So we have reshus as opposed to chayva, or reshus as opposed to mitzvah. Same thing. And for sure, that's one of the meanings in Mochemes Reshus, as opposed to Mochemes Mitzvah, which carries with it also, aside from Mochemes Mitzvah, you just go. You don't have to ask the Melech, you don't have to ask, necessarily. The Chiyuv is there, Be'etzem. You may want to ask the Urim V'Tumim anyway, if now's the right time, but, the Chiyuv is there, As opposed to Reshus, you have to make the Chiyuv, you have to decide on your own, right? But that's what I mean, Reshus as opposed to Chayva or Mitzvah, right? Right? But then we have Reshus as in place. Reshus HaYochid, Reshus HaRabbi. And then we have Reshus as in power. Right? Power. Or authority. Power, authority. Hevu Zahirin Bireshus. Shem Mekaram Elatzarasma, the mission Pirkei, be careful with the authorities. They'll help you when it's good for them, but not, Right? Right. Like Reshus, right? Reshus Abal, like we find in Ksuvis and in Nedorim, Reshus Abal, she's under his control. Right? Power, control, authority. So, what's the tzad hashava between these seemingly three disparate meanings? All right. Seeing is like this.
It's always somewhat of authority, Because if it's b'reshuscha if it's a reshus for you to do it, that means that you control it. The makom of reshus is teifus, whatever chaitzim is under it.
All right. So, to explain what all has to do, right? So, Chazal gave us a klal. En l'cha davar she'en lo makom. It's a Chazal. En l'cha davar she'en lo makom. All right, so, to understand the meaning of this, everything has its makom. Right. Right. The style in which the Rebbe Shem created the world. Not that Rebbe Shem has to do anything, but this is the way he decided to do it. Right. Is prior to something coming into existence, whether it's coming into existence or whether performing its function. It can only exist and do its thing on the background of a field of possibility. Field of possibility for that zach. Right? And without that background or that basis, the thing is powerless and may even die. when you take it out of those boundaries. However, everyone knows, that this is, what's mefurish right at the beginning of the Kisvei Ari. All right, the Ribbon Shalom was mitzamtzim, and he created makom, and then he filled the makom with nivroim, and everything was put in its proper makom. In the makom that came as a result of the tzimtzum, there are places in the makom, for lack of a better, as were areas, for lack of a better expression, even though it's not a physical thing, the makom, areas that were mesugo for ruchnius, and ruchni beings filled those areas. There's areas in that makom that will, that pass for physical beings, and everything, just like everything is on its own unique madrega, everything is on its own unique makom. Madrega itself implies makom, step, level, right? We find, makom is madrega is makom, but makom shabali tshuva oimdin. The word makom is a synonym for madrega is makom, and really is hainu hach, that in the makom of reality, everything has its own unique turf. That's where it could exist, and that's where it could function, and that's where it could do its thing. If you take it out of those parameters, it can't exist. And it certainly can't, kal v'chomer, it certainly can't do its thing. Its power would immediately be powerless.
What was Yeshua Coleman's problem with light, not having a makom?
And so he said, because I didn't quiz him about it, but he was made that it's not a real kasha. Because, but he promised that light needs to expand. If you would stop light short, it would cease to exist. And I don't know why or what. He's a physicist.
Okay, but even with that,
but I told him, but only in three-dimensional space. So all of three-dimensional space.
What its makom is,
Three-dimensional
wherever it's allowed
space.
to exist.
I think he heard it at the end.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the.
Okay.
All three-dimensional space is the makom of light. But outside of three-dimensional, it can't exist. Well, and then we explain, on Leil Shabbos, explain that, right, the Zohar talks about is that when malachim come down to earth, their ability to come down to earth on missions, they have to be mislabish in something like a guf in order to, have a hishtavut to the makom. Right? That's it, it's a very, very big sugya, Everything is in its own unique makom, and without that it wouldn't have kiyum, and without that it couldn't function. And if you ever talk about something trans-dimensional, so it must be like malachim, they could be mitlabesh in something like a guf that is capable of being in olam hazen. Otherwise, they wouldn't survive the transition. They wouldn't be able, when HaKadosh sends malachim on missions here, they have to be mitlabesh, so to be mishtaveh, to be somehow equivalent to the makom. Right? Okay. Pashut.
But the Maral says it's going to get to Golos.
Right.
Right in the beginning, that the Yidden's king is only in Eretz Yisrael.
Yeah. Everything has its own makom. Yeah. Correct. And Kuzri speaks about it also. Certain things only grow in certain climates, and Klal Yisrael is meant to be, like a plant, that our climate is Eretz Yisrael. Yeah, about it. But anyway, so with this understanding that everything, and there's a Ramchal like that. There's an episode of Ramchal that says Makom Milashon Kiyum. The makom is what gives kiyum. So now, to illustrate the point, don't say, well, there's the homeless, right? The homeless just doesn't have a place, on his name in tabu, right? He doesn't have a place, registered in his name, but he has a makom, right? That place where he, that stairwell, from which he takes refuge from the rain, and that garbage bin that he picks his food out, that's his makom. If you take those things away from him, he would die. All right. So in Mela, we've already found the common denominator between Rishus as in Makom, like Rishus HaYachid, and power. Because Hainuhach, when something is in its Makom, that's where it has power. Right? And in the shir that we gave during the day, so we further illustrated, right? It's a very simple example from from international law. Right? The president is only the president of his country. If the president's out of his country, who are you? Right? Right. I guess why it's also in international law where the ambassador is, the embassy, so that has the same law as the soil of the country. Because I know you're only somebody if you're on your turf. Right? So someone's off his turf. Who are you? So the colloquial term turf is so apropos. Right? On your turf. Now with this, now here's a slightly more delicate point. So now how does voluntary as opposed to obligatory fit into these definitions? Rishus as opposed to chayva, he gufa. Voluntary means no one tells me what to do. I'll decide if I want to do it or not. On my turf, I'm boss. And that's why it's Rishus and not Chayva. I decide. I'm on my turf. If something's Chayva, that's mashma, I'm kafuf to you. I'm kafuf to the mitzaveh. That means I'm on the mitzaveh's turf. If it's Rishus, that means I must be behechrech, standing on my own turf. And that's why I decide if I want to do it or not. We're talking about I'm on my turf or I'm on my own time. Right? Okay. All right. The problem is two problems. There's, first of all, right, so Ra has its makom. And that's true, where, the area of the makom that Riboshim created after the Tzimtzum, the place where, his or did not reach Arasof, that's the makom that enables the kiyum of all the kochos hara. It says it was Amnas to make the whole thing possible that we're talking about, right? But even the so of course if you say Ra has makom, that's a chisarn in Malchus Shamayim. But the truth is you have the same problem even without Ra. The very concept that I have my own space and my own time, I have my own reshus, right, is already a pgia in Malchus Shamayim. Right.
Isn't that Ra alone?
So I'm saying that even what you say, even what you say, it's the I'm not a bad guy, but I've got my so I have my own space, I have my own time. You know, I got nothing against the Rebbe Shalom, but
I'm saying the whole Bria is the whole Gashmi is I mean,
no. So that's the point. That's if you say it's a serious pegia and Malchus Shemaim, right? Right.
Saying it's not Ra Be'etzim, but it's
Independence. The concept of independence from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Right? Right. So now, of course, the tachlis of what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants, right, is not to leave things this way. Right? He wants the ganz musig of makom, right, to be elevated, to be identified as Malchus Shemaim, which it is be'etzem, because the midah of Malchus is what creates makom. The midah of Malchus is called makom. Right? Right, we want that all the olamas should be elevated to be beside Malchus the Ein Sof. That everything where the olamas are, the whole metzius of reality should be called Malchus the Ein Sof. That's the way it's going to be also, where everything's elevated. All the places, all the makom where the Nivraima is going to be called beside Malchus the Ein Sof. Right? So
Shver Zach, no? And saying
Malchus Ein Sof. I don't know. Malchus is the Brich Kisrach Ba'asrach is Kesser and Malchus. Asrach. Right? So I mean the concept of
how does it pass Ein Sof with a Malchus? Meaning
right.
it means that there's someone else.
No, it's Malchus the Ein Sof. You know.
It's a Shver Muslim.
I didn't say it's easy, but it's Malchus de Ein Sof. It's bottled to the Ein Sof. Right? And that's the side. Malchuscha, Malchus kol olamim. Rav Chaim Vital says Malchuscha, Malchus kol olamim. The Malchus is the Malchus of all the olamim,
And when we say things like Baruch Kavod Hashem Komo, Aye Makomo Laharitzo.
Makom, so over there,
that Makomo.
that Makom means Rebbe Shalom's unique madrega. His unique madrega that he's on. Right? But really else, his Malchus is out. Malchuso Bakol Mashallah. Right? As I said, Malchuscha, Malchus Kol Memshalcha B'chol Davador, or Malchuso Bakol Mashallah. Really, the Malchus fills everything. Malchus Shemaim fills everything, right? Just some people rebel. So even the people that rebel, the Rebbe Shalom's moishel over, but he's not a melech over them. He controls them because there's no doing against Rebbe Shalom's rotzen. But a melech is someone that you consciously serve. So those who don't want to be makir Rebbe Shalom's malchus, he's moishel over them. But be'etzem his malchus is everywhere. So that's the pasuk u'malchusoi bakol mashallah. The malchus is moishel of everybody. It should be malchuso molech bakol, right? Because it means it's going on. Even the ra, right? The Rebbe Shalom is moishel on them, but the ra is not makir and Rebbe Shalom's malchus. So the malchus is not molech on them. The malchus is moshel alem, or like the other part called malchuscha, malchus kolamim umemshaltecha b'chol davador, because there are doros that are not makir Rebbe Shalom. There's a dor chayav as opposed to a dor zakai. There's a moishel on them also. But this, so therefore, this perception of independent space is a serious pegia in Malchus Shemaim. Pshuto k'mashor, because the midah of Malchus Shemaim, from the midah of Malchus comes the makom. You understand? It's not just the Rebbe Shalom's insulted. You understand? It's a perversion of because the midah of Malchus is gufa, what creates makom. Right? And you have, things, kivyochol, with their self-perception that this is my turf, that etzem perception, have your own interpretation, that alone is marid b'malchus. There's already marida b'malchus. As the midah of malchus creates all makom.
How does malchus create such a thing?
All right, fine. That's too long to explain. But all right. See, you have to know that the tachlis. You see. Right. The tachlis of what HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us bechira for is not to choose tov over ra, as if the space that contains tov and ra is neutral, and let's say tov, derech mashal, took the right side, ra took the left side. Let's say, this is derech mashal. I do hate leftists, but let's say, just derech, right. Let us say that the concept of the universe, kilu, space is a neutral thing, and tov, derech mashal, took the right, and the ra took the left, and the other is in the middle, and bechira is just, do I move to the right or do I move to the left? That's wrong. Right? Bechira is way above that. Bechira is to mamish expand, expand the tov, the gvul of the tov, and to be mitzamtzim, the gvul of the ra.
So they're saying like they're fluid. That's the point. These rishuyos are fluid.
No, because
and depending on what I choose,
because space is relative. But it's even more relative than Einstein thought. Right? Space is the space as we know it is an illusion. There's really only Malchus Shamayim everywhere. There's this illusion called Chaloloi Shel Olam, the vacuum of the world, that in that halal you could have Tov and Ra coexisting, but really there is no makom for the Ra. It's a halal, it's a void, but the void is, more in the mind than a reality, and it's very much totally in Bechira. Chazal refer to the Koach HaBechira as Chalola Shel Rishus. Right? Chalola Shel Rishus is right? The vacuum where there's power. The power for me to decide. But it's a halal, it's a certain vacuum. And the tachlis of Bechira is to choose to fill up the vacuum. It's not the pshat, it's not only, who on whose side am I on? There's two sides, I'm going to choose a side. No! It's to make one side everything and to make the other side nothing.
Never one Chazal talk about if you see what is it, Romy? Is it Romy or
well, there's so because of the censor, they changed it to Tzur, right?
Oh, okay.
Right, but I think it was originally Romy.
Uh-huh.
In the Gemara Megillah.
But that's the idea. When you see one built, so you know the other one's not built, right? This is the idea of that.
They're mutually exclusive.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm saying that's the extreme version of it, but the Rav is talking about that whole time space factor in between
of allowing seemingly coexistence is not true. Bechira is to mamish, is to make the tov take up all space, and to negate ra even a foothold to stand on. So we quote from Yaakov Moshe Charlap in the Sefer Tovim Ma'iris, right? They say the Koach HaBechira is not just to choose between good and evil. The Koach HaBechira is koveya. Where is the gvul of tov and where is the gvul of ra?
What our choice is koveya?
Yes, because to not believe in ra and to negate ra is not just it's behind me. I left it behind, but no. When you reject it, it shrinks out of existence. Because the whole inyan of why the Rebbe Shem created the halal is that with the koach of Bechira we're going to fill up that halal. That halal where Malchus Shamayim is hidden, right? We with Bechira are going to fill it up. Not with our Bechira, we'll move to the right side and stay away from the left side. No. With our Bechira, we're gonna be fill it up, and thus the Ra will have no more room to stand. And that's Chalol
There's something happening. It's not just, you just have a choice. I mean, if you do a bunch of right things, then you get brownie points. You're really creating
So you have to, but no, we're redefining space. Redefining space. That we are taking away the makom of Ra, and filling the whole Chalol Shel Olam with Tov. Right? We're negating the halal. So there's this halal there to give a forum for Bechira, but Bechira is not just limited to moving to the right side as opposed to the left side. The Bechira is to fill up the whole platform that enables Bechira with Malchus Shamayim. But just when that happens, it'll be called that it's full and there's like no more room for Bechira. Get this, because I chose it. And that's why it won't be Nahama de Kisufa. I chose it, that there should be no more room for any other choices. So it's called that the Bechira made it Azah, that there's no Bechira. But it's Mikoch Bechira. So that's why it's like you get Schar Nitzchi for it, and it's not Nahama de Kisufa, because you made it that way.
That's like the Galgalin Schus, in a personal level.
Why?
Because you've taken one step towards the good, and as a result of that, you've eliminated the possibility. You're standing in a mishbetzet. Right. That's now you're already on higher ground, however you want to put it.
No, but the amazing thing is that
I understand
the space behind you is disappearing.
Right.
That's the concept of Avdei Hashem Lafukei, people that are doing mitzvahs to get Elam Haba, because Avdus is the pshat that there's nothing else. There's no other. It's a hecher.
Yeah.
Eved is muchrich. Last is Yitzayin Rabbi.
Yeah.
So how does that
They do it more. They do it more, but
no, it's difficult that. But mitzvahs work this way: that as we are bocher b'tov, and as we negate ra, so the tov is expanding and the ra is shrinking. It's not like the options stay static. Just I'm a consumer of the tov. I don't buy the ra's product as if it's still there behind my back. It's not there. I mean,
it's less there.
Because tikkun is done gradually, not all in one shot.
It's not because it's a gzeira and you're mukhrach to do it. That's
no. You're just saying that you're just saying you're pointing out how a person's kavanas should be in line with what he's doing, but the Maisa mitzvah accomplishes this whether you're machavin, these big kavanas or not.
But I'm saying that's the pshan and the big kavanas is because that's what's happening.
Yeah, I mean that should be the sentiment. That Hashem is all there is really. And, you're right. That Hashem is all there is really. That's so. Chalol shel reshus. It's true. The Rebbe Shem created this vacuum to enable bechira, but it's not the pshat, right? That. But it's the pshat that through bechira, gufa, we're going to close up this vacuum. Right, and that's Hakol Bidei Shamayim Chutz Miyur Shamayim. That's another lashon of Chazal referring to the Nekudas HaBechira. So it's called Chutz from Shamayim. It's Kilu Bachutz. It's outside of Malchus Shamayim, but it's Gufa. But this Nekuda, it's outside of Malchus Shamayim, which is the Nekudas HaBechira. It's called Yira Shamayim. That from me Bachutz, I have to acknowledge Yira Shamayim that he's Einoid Milvadoi. So that the whole point of Bechira is not to choose chocolate over vanilla. Right? The whole point of Bechira is to do away with the ganze chalolo shel olam. The Rebbe Shem created this halal to give Bechira the opportunity to sew it up. And now this is vital for tikkuno shel olam. If we ever want to reach a matzav where toiv, for the rest of time it will be kulo tov and no ra. So you can never get there by defeating evil, in the Pashut sense, right? So let's say, we'll hire 1 million cops. 1 million cops will arrest and said to the electric chair, right? All the evildoers. You're not going to destroy evil with that. Because then new criminals will be born, right? If we want to reach, a matzav where it'll be toiv vaday lenetzach. Sorry, you have to reach a state where there's no makam for ra, because as long as it's possible, so it'll just be coincidentally, that for a while there'll be no criminals, but a new door of criminals will arise. To reach the tikkun of achris hayamim, where everything is going to be toiv only lenetzach netzachin. You have to reach a state where there's no makam for ra to stand on.
So you make the makam not muksher.
That's right. You have to conquer all the makam. There's no makam for ra to stand. And that's what the pasuk says. Lo yareu v'lo yashchisu b'chol har kachi ki mola haaretz de'as Hashem. The world is full of das Hashem. There's no, it takes the das of Hashem takes up all space, and that's why there won't be any more crime. That's why we won't have to pay taxes ever again. Taxes just legalized theft. Anyway. So here is, here's the gewaldike tikkun of Milchemes Rishus. Milchemes Rishus is turf wars. Milchemes Mitzvah is to fight with the Ra Gufa. I fight with the Ra that's standing on his makom, or the Ra that's trying to encroach on my makom and tempt me. Milchemes Mitzvah is to fight with the Ra. Right? To fight with the Ra Gufa. Right? Milchemes Rishus is a different tikkun. It's marked to take away his turf. Turf wars. Milchemes Rishus is turf wars.
Who says this?
Not in one place. It's in the Fuzzer in the Sfarad. And Milchemes Rishus is turf wars. Taking back our streets, right? That's Milchemes Rishus, right? Right. As opposed to Milchemes Mitzvahs, to fight with the Ra. Milchemes Rishus are all different. Converting the makom into annexing it all to Malchus Shamayim, which it is Be'etzem, right?
Why does it have to do with the fact that it's Rishusay Lafupei?
No, he gufa. No, he gufa. That's the point. That we have to, that you have to because since it's Rishus, this perception that I'm on my own time, I turn into a mitzvah, and that's like undoing the apikorsus of the musab that there's independent space. It doesn't have to be said, doesn't have to be written up in this order, but let's go to Yaakov Avinu, something which I mentioned in Leil Shabbos. I didn't have time to get back to it on Shabbos afternoon. That, a precursor for all this is the inyan of Yaakov Avinu. That first of all, Yaakov Avinu is, Vayifka ba'makom, he was metakin tfilas arvis. He reached the makom. He was metakin tfilas arvis. Right? He reached, the makom is tfilas arvis is tfilas rishus. So it's the niflamot. He reached the makom and he was metaken, and that's when he was metaken arvis, which is tfilas rishus. Because the end of what Yaakov is, Yaakov is very, he's a real Jew. He does not mevater on not one penny. Goes back for pachim ketanim, fights with Lavan. He's not mevater to Lavan, right? Right? Real Jew. Because he wants to turn inyone rishus into a mitzvah, which is the inyan of taking away from the Ra a place to stand. The inyan of Arvis, we know, Kayadua, nighttime is the time when the Sitra Achra expands. Right? So as it were, night is their turf. Tfilas Arvis Rishus, they want to take away their turf. And that's why Yaakov, that's why the whole Indian event, why he's not, he cares about Pachim Katanim, which why it's funny because he turns Inyone Rishus into a mitzvah. He's out to eliminate the illusion of Inyone Rishus. Right? He's out against the perception of space as we know it, as if space is a neutral, dead thing that, could be divided up between the Tov and the Ra. And because Yaakovinu reaches this hasaga, that's why Yaakovinu always has kfitza saderach. Like all space by him is one. Space for him doesn't exist. Even by Yifka B'Makom, he made it back, an accelerated pace. We find, Yaakovinu has kfitza saderach all the time because space as we know it doesn't exist for him. He's real that there's just Mekayim Shel Olam. And he's out to make that tikkun of avoda birshus, that take the musag of being in your own time, in your own space, and turn it into a mitzvah. At tfilas rishus. And that's why by Yaakov there's these spatial anomalies. He has kvitz saderach, or all Eretz Yisrael was folded under him. It's all, like amazing. For him, space doesn't exist because space, as we know, is an illusion. This chalolo shel olam, which is the ether, what the physicists call the ether, right? Space, as we know, it doesn't really exist. This chalolo shel olam, right, is eliminated by the avoda of turning rishus into mitzvah. And that's why I want the arvis to be a tfilas rishus at nighttime on their turf, right? Now this is the sod of Yaakovinu, why for him space doesn't exist, the regular laws of space, and that's why he's into he wants the money, he wants to turn all inyonei rishus into a mitzvah, and with that he eliminates chalolo shel olam. There's no ether for him, and that's why he has kfitza saderach.
Well, why don't things that were mechuyev in this paradigm, shachris mincha, which are tfilas mitzvah,
right,
why don't they accomplish that also through us, yes, being bocher to do the mitzvah? Why are they're ironically less powerful? I find it ironic, right? You would think that they would be more powerful. I don't want to get into the whole business with Rav Yosef, and at first he thought he was putter, and therefore I don't know if that's necessarily connected, but just the musig of the relationship now between mitzvahs and reshus. What are mitzvahs that were bechuyev? Why don't they accomplish the same thing?
No, but everything is anti-evil.
Right.
All right. But we gave a mashal, that right, Mochemes mitzvah, where we don't take captives, right? It's me against him. It's personal, right? It's personal. We're fighting with the Ra, right? Mochemes Shuf is a turf war. I want to take the makom. Just like in a Mochemes Shuf, I'm out to capture the territory, right? Mochemes mitzvah, it's personal. I want you dead. I don't take captives. Right?
There's necessarily accomplishes more. It's just a different roved. It's a
more
different.
direct.
It's going for
a different dimension.
It's going for the makom.
I know it's less direct. I get that accent.
Right.
But
I'm taking away a place for them to stand on.
In Milchemes mitzvah and
as
other
I kill him,
don't do that.
I kill him.
Yeah.
Now it could be when I kill him, Mimela, it's it's different. Mochemes mitzvah and the paradigm of Mochemes rishus explains it very, very well, right? Mochemes rishus, I'm after the territory, right? And Mimela, there are captives. Now, of course, in captives, we're going to explain that in a second. I'm at the dynamics. I'm after the territory. Now we're going to explain. We haven't yet explained when you're after the territory, certain things happen. right? Certain people do get killed in the process, right? It's not a bloodless war. Some people become captives, right? But Muhammad's mitzvah is, I kill everybody. That's what it says, to fight with Ra, right? Inyane Rishus is to convert, is to eliminate makom for anything else other than Malchus Shemayim. There's no makom. Turf war. I'm after the turf. That's the point. The Inyane Rishus is to turn Rishus into mitzvah. It's a different tikkun. Now, Lamaaseh, in the Adam, we have in the private citizen, we have a similar a parallel to Muhammad's Shus. That's what the Zohar says in Parshas Eikev. Every Suda is an Idin Krava. The meal time is war. It's war. Mealtime is war. And it's far and point out lechem. It can also be lashon milchama, right? Lilchom.
The Zohar says that
Is Idon Krava, time of, it's a battle. So this is very delicate nakuda, right? Because you would think it's all or nothing, right? If it's treif, if it's treif, and if it's kosher, what's the problem? Oh, so say kosher, if you eat out of pure taiva, it's an isra of lo sasrach v'avchem v'achrei nechem, right? But there could be something that it's not mamash out of pure taiva because you're hungry also, Gotta eat. Gotta eat. Right? So if out of pure taiva, it's mamash, lo sasuru. But there's such a thing. I've got to eat. I'm hungry. So now the thing is like this, right? If I use the food to be Oved HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I beat the food. I captured it. It was mamish like kibush, right? As it was, the animal was, or whatever I'm eating was chulin. And now I made it kodesh because now it's part of a tzelem elokim that serves HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But now, if I ate it because I just wanted to fill my animal desire, see, if it wasn't merov taiva, one could argue, it's a very thin line. One could argue that stam, it's an isur gomer, lo sasuru. But there's something that's neutral, like look, I'm hungry, I'm in pain, I'm uncomfortable. I'm really uncomfortable. I eat. Right, but if you did it purely, to fill your animal side, you lost. See, if it's not lo sasuru mamish because you're mamish uncomfortable, you're really hungry. Al violin, we should only eat if we're really hungry. All right. But but still, if you did it with no intentions of serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu with the koch that you're going to get, it's probably being misalik the pain of the hunger, the sulai, the food beat you. Because you now, it captured you because you became more physical, you became more magusha. So it would have been better for you not to eat, Now that's Muhammad that goes on by any Suda, says the Zohar. Food's going to win or you're going to win? The tzelem beats the food or the food beats the tzelem? I mentioned, a Rebbe once gave hadracha to a bacher and said, I want you to think before you eat food, I'm eating it. What gives me the right to do so? Maybe it should eat me. Why am I any better? The bacher said, I'll do it at home but not in yeshiva. Why? Because yeshiva, the moment I close my eyes, someone's going to steal my food. All right? So brought down one of the svarim. Can't remember what I think. It's Siach Sarpei Kodesh. That's it. But the truth is, we put too much emphasis. We put way too much emphasis on the more abstract, level of Mochemes Rishus, right? But there's a lower level understanding of Mochemes Rishus, the big tikkun that there is, and that's the concept of raising up the nitzotzos, right? And that is that there's another problem that happened at the time of Chet Adam Rishon. At the time of Chet Adam Rishon, where the Tov and Ra were mitbalbel with each other, so a lot of, so we say a lot of kedusha went into the klipas. So that's of the sparks, the nitzotzos that have to be raised up. They fell at the time of Chet Adam Rishon, and that has its equivalent in people. That this is the end of the neshamas of Gerim, that some neshamas kedoshas fell into the klipa, and as a result they get born as goyim. And then we bring them back, Aidei Gerus. Gerus Russian Nigrar, they're dragged. We drag them back, drag them home. All right. But so now the Gemara says Yevamos Lo Hugli Sol Ben Umas El Kneshins Vasvalam Gerim. One of the tachs why the Barsham threw us into Golas, and we have to go into all the Goyish Makaimus to go into their Makom, is to take out the Nitzotzos from the Gerim that we go, there goes wherever Klaisa went to go, they always picked up a few Gerim, wherever they were. An amazing thing, no matter how unpopular the Jews were, they always picked up a few Gerim, wherever they were. No, it's a historical fact. Right, so Gemara says that's the tachas, so I went, and that's beside picking up the nitzotzos. Right? So it comes out like this. There's two bechinas, right, to Milchemes Rishus. Because in Milchemes Mitzvah you don't pick up no nitzotzos. You kill everybody, right? That's a big tikkun for the Bria, but it's partially, biur hara. The end of Milchemes Rishus, where you take captives, right? It's you take from them. So there's the tikkun of picking up the nitzotzos or the halagan neshamas that fell there as a result of the bilbul starim of Chet Adam Rishon. And then there's also the higher aspect that we've been spending most time because it's a more complicated aspect of take that the mokum of the Rab becomes a part of Malchus Yisrael. Right? These are the two inyanim. These are the two inyanim in this, right, in Mochemes Rishus. Right?
There was never any Mochemes Rishus. It's not part of the inyan to just go after the Rechush or to make them into Avadim without actually conquering the land. It goes together, it's a package deal, Be'echrech.
I think so. But the thing is, it has to be done right. I think because Surya, because it was kibush yachid, so it wasn't. If it's done right, then it's done with the whole the whole.
Then it doesn't
it gets a din of Eretz Yisrael mamish. It's Surya because David Melch did it. It was called kibush yachid because he did it without all the bureaucracy that was necessary. So it only became Eretz Yisrael midrabanan. I mean, we see that that's the case. Now it could be that there's just you ask, is it possible that there's a type of kibush that's not a getter of kibush klal? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Meaning you might say if it was done right with all the whole that it should still not get
with David Melech. Like in the example that the Gemara brought in Brachos with David Melech when he said that when they told him, well, they can't be punished from each other, so pashtu begdud. So it's not possible to understand that all that meant is just go fight a war, get from whatever people you're conquering, what you can gather from them, and it doesn't necessarily go along that we're taking over that that land. I don't know enough about historically what happened. I don't know enough about the whole technical talich of what's supposed to happen.
When it's not done with all the halachas, so it doesn't become Eretz Yisrael, but still Chazal gave it a din of Eretz Yisrael midrabanan. You know, again, I'm not saying it's impossible, but we're talking about it when you do it properly.
When it's done properly, it's supposed to work in the different dimensions.
Yeah.
Who's this Gemara about the Dolus was because of the game?
It's in Yevamos, I can't remember which stuff. You know, Lo gives Yevamos, El gives us. We go into the market. So this is accomplished in Mochemes Rishon, so we take captives. So with this already, this form explain. You know, we can explain now. Go back to one of our kashas. It said Vishavisa Shivyoy. So we asked, it should say Vishavisa Shevi. But the pshat is like this. Vishavisa Shivyo. You're capturing back what he captured from you. Capture what he captured from you. We're getting back the nitzaitzas that they captured because of Chet or the Barishan. Right? And that's Avada, part of the Indian of this Yefas Tayar. This girl is supposed to be Jewish. You know, that's why she's so Motzachein. Because she's Betzem and Neshama that's meant to be Nichnas into Klal Yisrael. That's why she's so beautiful in the eyes of the Jewish soldier. Right? Shavisa Shivya. Risa Bashiva Basta. Right? But I'll call upon him. These are the two inyanim that there are in Mochemes Rishus, where we take captives. That on us, on one level, it's halas hanitzoitzes, that the captives, you know, and so we capturing back what they capture. So it's v'shavisa shivyoy. You're capturing what he captured from you, right? But then there's the higher inyan of that in Mochemes Rishus, you convert his makom into Malchus Shamayim. So now this is also, you know,
two separate things,
right? Two bechinas, right? And this is the Indian, you know, that, and this, you know, you need a melech for Mochemes Rishus. You need a melech, right? Because that's the meat of Malchus is makom. We want every, you know, the melech is the merkava of the meat of Malchus Shamayim, and the meat of Malchus Shamayim is what needs to be expanded. That should be the meat of Malchus is makom. That the Malchus Shamayim should be the acknowledged makom for all. By the way, this is the reason, very good Tam L'Shevach, that in Hilchos Malachim of the Rambam, so besides the fact he has the laws of Milchama, but that's simple to understand because you need a Melech for Milchama. It's one of the functions of a Melech, so making these decisions going out to war. But Hilchos Malachim also includes all the halachas of Bnei Noach. Hilchos Malachim. Right? Because Umalchuso Bakol Mashallah, the Malchus is supposed to be inclusive of everything. So it includes the Goyim. And so like the Goyim find their place in Malchus Shamayim. Right? That's why Hilchos Malachim includes all the halachas of Bnei Noach. Right? The Makom that's supposed to encompass all. And that's what we're fighting for. And that's what, is befrat the tikkun of a Mochemes Rishus, to expand the territory of Malchus Shamayim and to contract their makom. So here's a davar nifla mode. Right? So now we go back to this Gemara in Brachas. We go back to this Gemara in Brachas, and they came into David Melch and said, we need Parnasa. So David Melch at first thought they're talking dollars and cents. He thought they were talking about Pasha the Gelt. So he said, "L'chol is Parnasa." I guess back then it was possible for Yidden to, do business together, right? Right? It was possible once upon a time, right? So they answer him with Mishon because they said, Eina kometz mazbias hari. Right, a little bit doesn't satisfy the lion. Right? If the Yidden, just do business, that's a little bit, right? An amazing thing, the Radziner says this, Niflamayid, right? And he says it in his time, like over 100 years ago, about 100 years ago or more. As, for some reason, Yidden need a lot more money and resources than they can produce. It was always a Jewish problem that they eat too much and they consume too much. We're hama'at mikol ha'amim, and it's going to be that way until Mashiach comes. Then Lasilava will be the biggest nation, but we're hama'at mikol ha'amim. So, b'derech klal, a nation's resources are proportionate to their size. You're a small people in a small country, but you should have small needs lefi your numbers. Like you're a small nation, so a small country and a small amount of resources should be enough. And Klal is not that way. We're amat mikolim, but we have a terrible appetite. Right? You do a Jewish problem. And say ena kometz as well. You say l'chu isparus mizeh mizeh. We're hamat mikol ha'amim. So ena kometz that we could produce beinin levatzah must be asari. So you might ask, why did the Rebbe Shem do such a thing to the nation that he loves? They gave them such a voracious appetite. They're like an Aryan that you didn't need much more. It was always this way, because it wasn't as bad as it is today. Right? It was always this way that Yidden always needed more food and more money and more out of proportion to their numbers. Right? So Zok the Radziner, the Rebbe Shem gave Klal Yisrael such a big appetite, so they should have a te'avon to take the nitzotzes out of the goyim. Because there are all these Yiddish neshamas and all these nitzotzes that fell into the golus. So Rebbe Shem gave Klal Yisrael a tremendous appetite to try to suck out all those nitzotzes that fell elsewhere. And it's mamish bedin. It's mamish bedin. You think about it. Theoretically, we should be the largest nation on earth because we're one of the most ancient people. We were around before the Americans and before the French and before the British. Why? Minadin, we should be the largest nation. Right? Because and I'll tell you why. So aside from all the Yidden that were killed in persecutions, there are all the Yidden that got lost. Right? All the lost Yidden, right? And so Rebbe Shem, as a Tigra, gave Klal Yisrael a tremendous appetite that can't be satiated beinam levein atzmam to force them to go bring in those nitzotzes that fell amongst the goyim. And that's the first bechina. The first bechina of Milchemes Rishus, that was to get the nitzotzes that fell into the klipa, v'shavisa shivya. And for that, the Rebbe Shem gave Klal Yisrael a tremendous appetite. And that's from doing Maramis. David Melch, we're not talking dollars and cents. We're talking about something ruchani over here. That's not, it's min hashamayim. You're kilo saying, l'chu isparus mizeh, and learn to be mistapik b'muad. The big appetite of Jewish people, ena kometz masbia sa'ari, right, is because of this Indian that we have to, we have to go out and eat from other places, to bring out the nitzotzes that fell there. And that's mamish the side of the Jewish appetite. No, I'm serious. The Radziner writes this, right? Jewish appetite, tarti mashra. It's for whether it's for food or whether it's for money. It's this drive, to take in. It's mitzad, picking up the nitzotzes that fell elsewhere.
Is there a musik of a yid becoming off because he has nitzotzes of ras, so he has to get out?
What? Erev Rav.
Oh, the Erev Rav.
Erev Rav.
That's what B'chanan means, that the Tzirin Mamizara Amalek to
whatever. No, I mean the concept. There's a concept of Erev Rav that have to be pushed out. Right. Right. But then they give him another mashal because then Domach thought they were talking Gashmias. Well, listen, his parents and be happy with it. Be mistapik muad. As ena kometz masbia sa'ari. They were talking about the need for parnasa over here has a certain ruchni dimension to it. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants that that the kometz that the Jewish people could produce beinam ben atzum should not be masbia, They have a lion's appetite so as to be forced to seek the nitzotzes that are, right, elsewhere, to bring those lost nitzotzes back. Bechina number 1. Bechina number 2, Ein habor mismale muchul yasa, nifla mode. Right? There's another problem. You're not going to fill the pit by digging up more dirt from the pit to fill the pit, right?
What was lacking in the first mashal that he's having come on to the second one?
Oh, because there's another bechina, the need of makom.
We went from the Havamina was just meant physical. No,
Right.
We brought the Ari mashal, which is more towards the ruchniistic side.
The ruchni is not above, but the bechina of Klaiso has a big appetite to raise up, so as to force him to raise up, to consume from the goyim and bring back the nitzotzes that fell there.
Okay.
Right? That's the first bechina of Mochames Rishus, of taking captives, taking captives. Right, but then there's another thing. Ein habor mismamacha. We can't fill the pit by digging up beineinu levein atzmeinu. You can't fill the pit by digging up dirt from the pit. So, niflamot. That pit represents the chalolo shel olam, the halal of the bore. And kaidu stam bor yutfachim. And the Gemara says in Sukkah me'olam lo yarda shchina mitachas asar tvachim. That asar tvachim represents chalolo shel olam. The halal that needs space as we know it needs to be fit in. It's called halal shel bor. Right? Nechashim, mayim einbo, nechashim akram beishbo. It's full of the sitra achra. We have to fill the bor. If Klaiso is going to be only oisik beinom levein atzmam, and not go out on kibush, the bor, the hole is still going to be there. This halalo shel olam that allows that, and that's the makom of ra. That's what gives makom to the ra. That gives rishus to the ra. It's still going to be there. If we just stay within our borders, and we're just misparnes beinel vein atzmeinu, so the eina bor mitmale mechul yasa. It's not going to fill up the bor, the halal that there is in the world that needs to be filled in with kedusha. And that's why we have to go on a milchemes rishus, to fill up the halal shel olam, to fill up the halal shel bor, which represents the halal shel olam, to fill up the perception of empty space that allows for the metzius of ra. That's pshat in that Gemara. These are two bechinas of Mochames Rishos, the two ruchni bechinas. The appetite to be malad and nitzotzes, and the Indian of filling up chalolo shel olam. That by taking that territory away from him and adding it to Malchus Yisrael, we're filling in the halal. I mean, that's it. We're filling the halal, the empty space, that empty space, which is the makom, and that's how P side, the halal, where the Rebbe didn't fill it with ore afterwards. That's where the klippos are. Now we have to fill up that halal, and that's Mochames Rishus. Fill in the halal. Use the bechira to do away with the space for bechira. Kayaду and Kisvei Ari. So it says after it says the Bosh made makom panui. So Kayadu, everyone, all them farshim, rov say it's not kipshuto because less asar panui minay. There's no place that's devoid of the Rebbe Shalom. Right? So of course it's only an illusion of panui, but there's a sefer Meir Einei Chachamim from a Talmud of Reb Zev Wolf of Zhitomir that says a hafaltik pshat. You know what panui means in Ari? Miloshin to be poneh. The whole reason why he created that space was that we should be able to turn towards him and him turn towards us. Makom poneh, that we should be poneh zeh lezeh ba'ahava. Be totally, turn towards each other, but not that there should be any empty space between us. And that's what happens in Milchemes Rishus. We do away with the perception of empty space, so as the tachlis of the tzimtzum should only be that we should be poineh zeh lezeh. We should turn towards the other. But now there should be makom poneh k'pshutai, chas v'shalom, there should be empty space. And we're going
What is that we say that this makom panei, that's tzimtzum,
that's the makom kol hanivroim. And where the makom got filled up with everything lefi madregato in that makom. He calls it makom ponui. Chassidim say makom ponui. He didn't do it. There should be empty space. There should be the opportunity to be poineh zeh lezeh. We should be facing each other with no space between us. And with Milchemes Rishus, that's it. We fill up that chalolo shel bor. Whereas if Christ will just stay and be mitasek beinam levein atzmam, and not go out and capture, so the halal would still be there. Right. So let's finish with Eishes Yefas Torah. So once, if you eliminate space between two objects, one of two things happens. Right? Either when you eliminate the space between two objects, either certain things are going to fall out of reality because they have no place to stand, or lehefech, you're forcing things to unite. When there's no space between them, so either things will fall off because they have no place to stand, or you're forcing them to come together. So that's what happens in Milchemes Rishus. It's not a bloodless war. Some people do get killed. All right, when you go on that turf war, so you're not mitzvah to kill everybody, but inevitably some people are going to get killed, right? They lost their makom to stand, right? And certain things are going to be taken captives, and they become one with us. They get incorporated into us. And right, that's the end of this Eishes Yefas Torah. Going back to, this is a Yiddish neshama. That's been forced to come home, and that's why there's such an attraction. She's Yefas Torah because she's be'etzem motza chen, because she's be'etzem meant to be in Am Yisrael. That's why she is so motza chen. That is, why she's so yofi.
And
Right?
Rashi quoting Chazal that talks about how horrible things result from Eishes Yefas. How does that fit in with this Mahalach?
Okay, so 1 second. We'll get it back there. So now we asked like this. We should have been Magdim, another Yesod, which we're mentioning right now, right? So like this. Of course, Einis Rachmana Patre. But Einis Rachmana Patre doesn't mean that you won. Yeah, I'll give you an example from Halacha. Right? Give you an example from Halacha. An Eishes coin that's Nensa is still also on her husband. Even though it's Ba'inus and she's not going to get punished for Gili Arayas, she's still Mitchalelet. And Yisrael's mutter and his wife that was Nensa because he's not Kadosh. He's a plain Yisrael, he's not Kadosh like a Kohen, so he can live with a Mechulelet. A Kohen who can't live with a Mechulelet, right? So even though it was Ba'inus and there's no penalty, but it's a Metzias, she has been defiled. Now the Lashon Chol and Mechulal and Chalal are all, and we spoke about this in previous Yurim, it's all from the same root. That things are Chol and not Kodesh. We talk about Chilul Hashem. So the Zohar says, Chilul Lashon Chalal. That you make a vacuum of Shem Shemaim, as opposed to Kiddush Hashem, is to fill the world with Gilui Shem Shemaim. Chilul Hashem is to make a Chalal, make a vacuum of Shem Shemaim. if a woman is mechulelet, or things are just chulin as opposed to kodesh, it's all a function of this chalolo shel olam. Right? So, by einus, right, there may not be any penalty for having done wrong, but it doesn't change the mitzias that if evil has been done, the halal has expanded. And again, case in point, Ashes Coin is, even though it was b'einus, but she is mechulelet, and she's also to a kohen. Also any kohen.
So this klal is by every oinus.
Yeah, because oinus just takes off the penalty. It takes off the einish. It doesn't undo the mitzias. It doesn't undo the mitzias. Right? But it's the main thing. The mitzias that happens is still an expansion of the halal. She's a mechulelet. Right? Right? So it comes out like this. That which we asked like this. Let's say the taiva is so great that it's begeder yitzra al b'shei. Let's say. It doesn't change the fact that the whole Mochemes Rishus is going to go to pot. Right? Because with the whole point of the Mochemes Rishus, the whole point of the Mochemes Rishus was that you undo Chalolo Shel Olam and you turn the Chulin into Kodesh. You take the Malchus of the Goyim, you turn it to Malchus of the But the whole Tikkun will be undone, right? If he'll take her be'isur, see if it's begeder einus, if it's for al b'shei, right? It doesn't change the fact that he was mitchalel, he went out. And it undid the whole tikkun of what was supposed to be accomplished by this milchama. So again, that there's not going to be any einish, right? But the whole tikkun that was meant to happen was undone. She was supposed to go into the kedusha, and then that way the Chalal Shalom is contracted and the Kedusha expands, right? And he instead, went to her. He went out and the Chalal was expanded. It will undo the whole tikkun that needed to be done. So therefore, since Rebbe Shem doesn't want the whole Milchemes Rish, the tikkun of the Milchemes Rish to go to seed, right? So he was matir her. So thus, by making her heter, so the Chalol Shel Olam is not expanded because he made her mutter. Right? But the getter is like this. It's to save. It's not the pshat to get the guy out of einish, because like we said, Maman of Shach. If he can control himself, he deserves einish. And if he can't control himself, he's Yitzhar al b'shat, right? So he's an onus. It's not about helping the guy out or saving him from einish. It's about that if this takola will result, the tikkun of the Mochemes Rishus will be, reversed. And that's a little deeper Torah connected Yetzer Hara. We want to take away the mitzias of the Yetzer Hara. Right, the Yetzer Hara will undo the whole tikkun. If he gets a yid to be nichshol, so the whole tikkun of Mochemes Rishus, it's called that, we were supposed to take away the turf from the Ra got turf from us. That's what we both did to save the effort of the war. It's the tikkun that the Milchama is supposed to make. That the whole tikkun shouldn't go to sea because of this guy. But about it, since the guy is living b'di'evet, he's going to pay for it. So of course he's going to end up hating her. It'll be a ben sarah murder, right? Because right. Because it wasn't the higher madrega. The higher madrega would have been that he should have been victorious in the kudah, right? And he would have taken her b'kedusha. Right?
Vigayara.
Yeah. He should have done it right, but he didn't, because the Torah is responding to a weakness, so b'chol zot, b'chol zot, you're gonna know that you're a lowlife. You know, the Torah did this to save the war effort.
So maybe the Ben Sarah murder is to take away that wrath.
Yeah, the aspect of that he was so weak and he couldn't. The Torah, he couldn't win. The Torah had to be matir. So inside that, you have to. It's sort of saying it's like you have Eshev Has Torah is dechuya, not hutra. But the Torah was deicha the isser, to save the war effort. Otherwise, the whole tikkun, this guy is kishalon will endanger the whole tikkun that is supposed to be accomplished by Mochemes Roshos. So remains one more point, right? Right. So the Zohar says, "Ubachta es avia ves ima yerach yamin." Zda chodesh Elul. The Zohar says this. The yerach yamin that she cries for avia is Elul. It's beside Elul. And the Zohar goes on and say, Elul is Yemei Ratzin. Right, the days of Ratzin and Rachamim, because most people went up in Elul to get Luchas Shnias. So, let me say, what are Luchas for? Who needs them? It's not a kosher Sefer Torah. What do you do with Luchas? Also, what's pshat in what we say in the Leil HaSeder? Shnayim mi odea, shnayim ani odea, shnei luchos habris.
So it's made the kesher wrong.
Oh, so it is like this. The luchos are connected to leg. We spoke about this many times. Kosvei ma luchos libecha, the pasuk says. Right? Right? Right. Seemingly there's a tunis in the heart. It's niflamot. There's leiv chachem mino leiv ksilus smolo, a tunis in the heart. Because you can be pulled in different directions. To the tov, to the ra. Right? But you know what also the heart's called? The heart is called chalal. V'libi cholo bekirbi. Shnei chalolei halev. The heart is also called chalal, vacuum. It's so amazing, right? That because the heart is where the rotzen is, it's where the bechira is, and it's called, that bechira, it's called chalola shorashus, right? The union of the luchas is to show that Am Yisrael has achieved the madrega as v'ashavta Hashem Elokecha b'chol levavcha, your whole heart. There's a tunis in the heart, there's a chalal in the heart, empty space in the heart. Well, the luchas, which represent the Yiddish hearts, divrei Torah are engraved on them. Divrei Torah are engraved on them. The union of the luchas represent how Am Yisrael is Oved Hashem b'chol levavcha. Beside Aseh, Elul is called Yemei Ratzon. Aseh Ritzoncha Kiritzono. Batel Ritzoncha B'pnei Ritzono. Our both sides of the heart are all mechumen klapei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So why is there a tunis in the heart? I'll tell you why there's a tunis in the heart. Ben Adam l'makom, Ben Adam l'chavero. To love HaKadosh Baruch Hu and love your fellow Jew. But not that there should be any empty space or any possibility of being noite lachutz. The Indian that after Cheta Ego, HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to give luchas again. Who had denied? We could have gone on like we are b'yameinu without luchas. No, the Indian is that the Rebbe wanted to make the tikkun that even la'achar the chet, that there's a Yetzirah inside of us still in Pnimius, Klal Yisrael's heart is mechuven totally towards HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's the Indian of luchas. That when luchas are Klal Yisrael is totally, meshubet to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Klal Yisrael is Both parts of the heart are mechuvan to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There's no empty space. There's no empty space. Everything is mechuvan 100% towards HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Thus HaKadosh Baruch Hu and Klal Yisrael is not a stira to v'hu echad ve'ein sheni. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Klal Yisrael, who's the sheni, is totally mechuvan towards HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's the look with both sides of the heart. That the koach habechira, that the whole ganze koach habechira is mechuvan klapei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Like I said, you're supposed to use the koach habechira to close the halal. That the shtei chalalei halev are all mechuvan to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's the meaning of luchas. That represents that Klal Yisrael's heart is totally pointed towards HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's the big tikkun. That even after the chet ego, even after we have ra inside of us, still our heart is totally mechuvan towards HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's the big tikkun of luchas shnias. Despite having a yetzer hara inside of you, it's still that way. It's not the same like it was. First luchas were from Shemayim, second luchas are from the earth. But still, this earthly heart that we have that is full of ra, is still mechuvan totally towards HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There's no empty space. That's shnayim mi yodeya, shnayim ani yodeya, shnei luchos habris. The pshat is like this: the whole tunis that there is in the bria is not to say that chashem there'll be empty space. You have to have empty space to separate. There's one and there's the other, right? No, the whole tunis is in the bria is mitzad luchas. That shouldn't be tunis that there should be empty space, but it should be a tunis that pshat is that there should be Klal Yisrael and HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but there's no empty space. Cause it's not a pegia and hu echad ve'ein sheni, because Klal Yisrael is totally mechuvan towards HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And we have two sides are connected to two luchas, ben adam l'makom, ben adam l'chavero. But it's all mitzvahs, it's all ratzon Hashem. There's no empty space. It's like that, with what we quoted from the Meir Einei Chachamim. Makom panui is not the pshat there should be empty space. But a makom for Klal Yisrael and the Rebbeinu to be poineh zeh lezeh ba'ava, and that's the end of luchas. All
the makom pani that he was referring to.
What it says in Kisvei Ari that the Tzimtzum made makom panui. Makom panui is really empty space. But it should be. It looks like empty space, but the real tachlis is that there should be no vacuum, and Am Yisrael and Klal Yisrael and HaKadosh poineh zeh lezeh, and that's the end of luchas. Both sides of the heart. B'chol levavcha is pointed towards HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's the tikkun of lichus, right? And that's the avoda in Elul. Ubachtas avia vesma yerach yamim. That's chodesh Adar. Moshe Rabbeinu went up to Shemayim to get the second luchas. Milchemes rishus is to take away the empty space, to take away rishus, to take away the perception of empty space, of separate space. That should be that the only tunis in the bria is not mitzat empty space, but the only tunis should be, mitzat shnayim ani yodeh shnei luchos habris. That's the only tunis, and that type of tunis is not a stira to vu echad ve'ein sheni. And that's the pshat that Rabbi Akiva told his talmidim. Kishetagiu la'avnei shayish tahor al tomru mayim mayim. He was talking about Seidus and Ma'aseh Merkah. We get to that. Don't say mayim mayim. So it says in Kisvei Ari, avnei shayish is the luchas. Because they were sheish tfachim, and they had the aser sadibras, shayish, sheish yud. When you get to the madrega of luchas, habris, don't say mayim mayim. There's no empty space. The whole chalol shom between the mayim elyon and mayim doesn't exist. Al tomru mayim mayim. When you reach the madrega of luchas, it's all sewn up. There's no empty space. The whole rakia besoch hamayim, which created chalol shom, doesn't exist anymore. That illusion ceases to exist. Right, that's the Avodah in Elul, which culminates with Yom Kippur. That's when you cannot luchas shnius. And Yom Kippur is called Yom Echad B'Shana. It's the day of Achdus. No empty space. Yom Echad, Ze Yom Kippur refers to Yom Echad, my space, where everything was Mayim B'Mayim. It's before the Rakia B'Soch HaMayim. That's Yom Kippur, and that's luchas shnius. That's, when you reach the Madrega, there's no empty space. Both Chaloli Alev are full of Divrei Torah. We're working on Elul, and during Elul, to achieve that madrega, feeling that there's no empty space between us and the Ribbon Shalom. Okay. 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 Okay.